Stand By Me. This is about, on one hand, kind of as simple as it gets. Great tune, very simple chord progression, driving bass line. The song, we are going to take a short look at just some of the things that you can learn from a song like this, and playing it kind of like I did right there. We'll talk about doing it in some different keys, because it really is, it can be played in any key you want. Whatever key is going to be a good key for you to sing it in. But we're mostly going to talk about just the chord progression that became known as the 50s progression, and then also how to incorporate that little bass line in there, and whether this is the best key to do it in. Now, the song was written by Ben E. King, and Ben had a background of singing in doo-wop groups in the 50s, and in the late 50s he became a member of a new generation of the Drifters. There were a couple different, the Drifters, I'm not going to go too much into the story of the Drifters, but a lot of different people floated in and out of the Drifters, and he was only with them for about a year, but and then went off to kind of do his own thing. This song he wrote, or was working on, and was assisted by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, a well-known songwriting team that probably didn't have a lot to do with the creation of this song, but had a lot to do with hanging on to the publishing rights and things like that. So anyway, and it was also then covered by lots of different people, and Sam Cooke, Otis Redding probably did it. John Lennon, it was one of Lennon's favorite tunes. He remembers it from his, well, he says from his childhood, but it really came along after his childhood, in his late teen years. So, anyway, John's version, very simple. Chord 1 to chord 6 to chord 4 and 5 and back to 1. There you have the chord progression. I will analyze a little bit more coming up, but you can play a very simple version of it just by doing that. And you can play it in any key you want. We got an 8-measure progression that is, again, just typical of what we heard in the 50s. Great melody and everything else. So coming up, we'll talk about chord progression, different keys, and particularly if you want to get the bass line in there, what some of the options are as far as the best keys to do that in. Okay, Stand By Me. That was the opening segment to a lesson I put together on, of course, Stand By Me. And the lesson continues into, like I've talked about in there, strumming it in just a very simple Campfire version, playing the chords in the key of A. We talk about transposing it into other keys, and then really talk about trying to incorporate the bass line and the pros and cons of the bass line and how it works in other keys. In some keys it works really well, in other keys it just doesn't happen very well. So if you'd like to see this lesson, it's up now at TotallyGuitars. It's part of the Target program, which is our monthly subscription program. It's also available as an individual lesson or as part of our Target Lite program. Lots of different ways to get songs there. We have also a lot of free, over 60 complete free lessons that are, some are even more complicated than this, and some are fairly simple. This one's a fairly straightforward song. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that, but you can also check out the over 60 free songs first if you want to get a feel for the kind of things we have there. As far as the other songs, there are over 500 of them now, so there's a lot of stuff there that you could learn a lot from. So hope you'd take the chance to come visit us at TotallyGuitars.